Alright, what's going on, everyone? We are back in Cyberpunk, and I am excited to try out DLSS 4.5. This is currently the M model, and if you're not familiar how to do that, I'm going to have a little tutorial at the end of this video to show you how to enable the newest and latest and greatest stuff from NVIDIA that was announced yesterday. This is, just a quick preview on it. It releases officially on, I believe it's the 13th of January. So, you could just wait till then. But if you want to get it early, I'll have a little how-to at the end to make sure you know how to do that. So right here we are on the low preset, and everything looks, looks fine. Looks like low to me, but it's DLAA. And again, we're using that M preset. So right here at 62 FPS at 4K, and I chose chose 4K to really see what the improvements are on the 5070 Ti, since it's kind of an entry-level 4K card. I thought it would be a good way to kick off the 4.5 stuff. So let's jump over and get into it. All right, so let's come to our custom quick preset here. Let's go up to medium, go back to the transformer model, and we're going to go back to DLAA. So right here, everything looks, pretty much bottomed out other than medium. And I keep these sections in these videos so that you can verify what I'm telling you that I'm testing. It's just a way to, keep everybody informed. So right here, I'm going to turn off this stuff here and keep on going there. So right here, we're just medium. So nothing too crazy, medium DLAA. And that gets us down into the 50s. So this is kind of where I would say that you would need to jump up to at least quality just to keep that frame rate up and give yourself some headroom to keep going up in your, visual fidelity settings, so to speak. This back stretch here tends to run a little bit better than the roundabout area. This is why I really like Dogtown so much, is you get this really quick and easy way to show kind of best and worst case scenarios. So if it runs well in Dogtown, the thought is that it will run well in the rest of the game. So this is why I picked Dogtown so much, because right here at the 52, we're on the backstretch, you were kind of closer to 60 there. So yeah, let's just keep on running through it. Let's jump up to the next level, which is just a quality upscale. We're going to leave this on the native 0.2. This is kind of how the game starts out. So we'll drop that back down. We might have to modify that a little bit more. And what I'm going to do too is work my way all the way through ultra performance. So, most of the time I don't go to ultra performance, but that's supposedly gotten a lot better. So we'll check that out. So just going to quality, leaving everything else the same, gives you about 100 FPS here. So again, gigantic leap forward. Quality looks pretty good. I mean, I kind of expected it to. It already did. But jumping from DLAA to quality, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you the difference. I would really have to study side-by-sides to be able to tell you if I even notice anything. But what that does is that obviously increases our frame rate, but it gives our PCL a nice decrease, which is what you want. That's your post-compute latency. And that is around 29 milliseconds right now. So anything under 50 is typically what I aim for. And on a controller, anything under about 80 is typically okay. I am on a controller now, but I'm gonna try to keep this test around 50 just so I cover everyone. But yeah, we're looking like 97 FPS back here, 94. All right, so let's jump into the very next level and go up to the high setting here. We're gonna keep it on quality and of course keep everything else the same. Come down here and turn all this mess off. It makes the image look bad, and I don't know why it insists on doing stuff like film grain. So anyway, this has been set to high, everything else transformer model, and this is the transformer model 2. So that has gotten an update as well, which is good to call out. So right here, 85 FPS, and our PCL barely moved. It's still high 20s, low 30s. So 82 around the roundabout, which is a pretty good sign. This kind of indicates that it's going to run just fine everywhere else at this setting. But I mean, to be honest, we're all here for the ray tracing and path tracing and to see what the upscaling does anyway. So as I go through these, just if you're new here, this is kind of how I run my testing. Is I start at low and I just keep working my way up and introduce upscaling and or frame generation as necessary. just so you get an idea of what you'd have to do to get similar performance. All right, so let's just jump over here and go to Ultra and just kind of get through this pre-ray tracing testing here. So we were on quality. Hey, how it just moves everything around. All right, so yeah, Ultra, Transformer 2, quality, all this down here, nothing changed. And let's turn all this off. And, you know, like I said, I don't like to cut these sections out because I like for you to be able to verify what I'm doing. And you can see the settings for yourself. Pause the video, make sure that I'm telling you the right thing. Yeah, so we're at 53, 54 FPS here. So I would go up to balanced at this point. Anytime that we dip under 60, I like to kick it up to that next level of upscaling. So right here we're at 56 FPS. All right, so yeah, it looks fine though. We're most of the time over 60 on this back stretch, but you know, again, I like to jump up when it starts to dip below it. So let's do that now. Let's come over here, go up to that balance, leave everything else the exact same. All right, so here we are on balanced. Had a crash, so you know, this is a beta version, so we're gonna give it a break. And I am testing quite rapidly, going through settings, so you know, that tends to make things a little bit less stable than just leaving them alone. So anyway, right here on balanced, everything left the same. We are looking like about 70 FPS around the roundabout, so that's a pretty good sign. It'll definitely pick up on this back stretch here as I go through it. So let's just keep on going there and see what we can expect in a more ideal situation. All right, yes, we're in the 80s now. So that's about a 10 FPS swing. Dips down a little bit here, you know, up on this four-way intersection, but let's just keep on rolling through it. All right, so I'm going to go up to that first level of ray tracing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it over to a night save. That way we can really see the ray tracing a little bit more prominently instead of like bright daylight. It tends to look better and you can see more what it's doing at night. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. All right, so let's do a quick recap. This is my night save. So right here we are on DLSS balanced Transformer 2 model. Ray tracing has been enabled, and that is just the low setting enables local shadows. And this is typically a lot easier to run as far as ray tracing goes. It's kind of like a baby version of ray tracing. But yeah, we're still at balanced, and we're still in the 60s here, which is a pretty good sign. And I really like to run through this at night this way. So yeah, they get the nice lighting, so really see what we're doing. All right, so yeah, we're at 65 FPS here, 64. Just going to go around this roundabout again and see what we can expect. So 63. Yeah, we're looking okay. PCL crept up a little bit. Not too bad, though. We're still in the mid-30s over there. All right, so yeah, we're looking like 66 FPS. All right, so cool. VRAM's still well under control. We got 16 on this card, so we'll be all right. Now let's go ahead and kick on that next level of RT. All right, so let's come over here and go to medium. Kick this back over to balanced. Everything looks good here, so no big changes. This introduces local or sun shadows on top of the local shadows, so it's kind of going up one notch. Turn all this junk off and apply that. So as you can see, everything here has been applied and looks pretty good. All right, so we're going to jump back into it. So this is kind of where I would likely move up to performance upscaling. But right here we are at 54 FPS with a 42 millisecond PCL. So VRAM's looking okay. Everything looks fine there. We're just allocating not even 12 gigs, and we are using 9. I always hit that barrier at least once in this game. All right, so here we're in the 50s now. So what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and kick on the performance DLSS model. And I'm going to do two things. Right now, I'm on the M model of DLSS 4.5. I'm going to test it on M, but then I'm also going to test it on L for performance and for ultra performance, because that is said to be the better of the two when it comes to these different upscaling models. But right here, we left everything else the same. Going to go ahead and apply that. We didn't change models. We're just on performance. on the M model. So that gives us 61 FPS. And I can tell you right now, this is looking really good. I mean, like, DLSS 4 performance was already good at 4K, but like, dang, this is nice. I mean, I am like literally trying to pixel peep, and I cannot tell you any noticeable difference between what I'm experiencing here and what balanced looked like. I mean, maybe side by side, but yeah, wow, this is nice. This is a really good improvement here. Wow, looks really good. All right, so let's jump over and keep on going. So let's jump to Ultra, and then we're going to, of course, go all the way up to path tracing, and hopefully things don't get really bad. So, all right, so we're going to leave it on performance. Ray reconstruction, we're going to turn that back on. All right, so what this does here is it turns your reflections on. That's kind of your heavy hitter. We will test out Ultra. We'll go up to Psycho here before we jump into path tracing. So, you know, hang on, we'll get there. All right, so yeah, let's go through here. Kick all that junk off. This is what we're working with right here. All right, so let's just keep going. All right, so this is performance model, max, almost max ray tracing. It's not Psycho real-time lighting, but it is ultra real-time lighting, and this looks, god damn, this looks good. Man, oh man, yeah, performance is nice. It's definitely improved. I am going to do a little bit of sharpening just because I'm curious, because I tend to sharpen this game up a good bit. It just kind of looks better to me that way, but yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of sharpening just so I can kind of give a little reaction here, so you guys can kind of know. So I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to go up to 0.8. We're not doing any frame generation, so we can really crank that sharpening up. Yeah, man, performance 4K. This is really, really good. This looks great. All right, yeah, so I'm just going to keep on running through it. So, yeah, let's go up to Psycho, real-time lighting, and see what we can expect there. So let's just come down here. Where is it? I believe it's, there it is. Went right past it. All right, so this is the ray trace lighting. I always call it real-time lighting. Ray trace lighting, Psycho. So this is like the max version of ray tracing before we go up to path tracing. So we are at 60 FPS here. My driving's terrible. We're at 60 FPS. I mean, this lighting is phenomenal. Looks just like so good. Nothing ray traces like Cyberpunk to me. It's just like, it's on a new level. All right, so yeah, we are in the 60s over here. So 5070 Ti, you know, we are on the M model. All right, so the main thing is that this DLSS model is supposedly so good that it makes ultra performance a viable option. So what I'm going to do now is just kick it over to ultra performance, simply because, you know, I wanted to see what kind of uptick we get from what we just had. That gives us 95, 96 FPS here. And I was playing with this a little bit last night, and I noticed a spot where you got some flickering that you did not get otherwise on the old model. And it was this, where it says Black Sapphire, that little diamond under it, that little logo kind of thing. That flickered like crazy on ultra performance on the old model. And as you can see now, it is much more stable. So that the stability is way better on ultra performance with this model for sure. And this isn't even the L model. So this is just the M model. L is supposed to be like the one you want to pick for ultra performance. So we're going to check that out too. But 90 FPS here with basically everything cranked out ray tracing wise. Now let's go to path tracing, and that's definitely going to kick us a little bit down. So I'm going to go back to performance, and then I'm going to go to ray tracing overdrive. Yes, I want to apply those. It's like, are you sure? Yeah. So performance. Leave everything else as is, and come down here and let's take a look. So path tracing overrides everything. Turn all this stuff off. And again, I'm leaving this stuff in here. I don't cut these sections out because I want you guys to be able to know that I'm telling you what I'm testing is accurate. So all right, so yeah, we got performance 0.8. Everything looks good. Ray reconstruction is turned on. All right, so let's apply that, and we are at 41 FPS with path tracing and 50 milliseconds on our PCL on the M model, the latest model. This is the one that is not specifically tuned for ultra performance. We're still going to check it out, but yeah, I just wanted to include both in here so you can kind of make your own determination. And if you didn't catch the note at the beginning, it really helps to full screen my videos and make sure your quality is activated to 4K. I record everything in super high bit rates on AV1 to kind of get around the compression that YouTube likes to do. It's not perfect, but it is a way that I can at least make my videos as clean and clear as possible. So, you know, make sure you do that. All right, so yeah, we are looking like 46, 45 FPS. All right, so let's just jump over and keep everything else the same and just go to ultra performance. All right, so this is obviously going to make it much more playable. And dang, it looks good, man. Oh god, this is so much better already. And this isn't even the L model. This is just the M. So this is not even the best that is for ultra performance. And I can say that it is making ultra performance look almost as good as the old performance did. Man, this is cool. Yeah. NVIDIA does still like gamers. That's good to know. Yeah, I mean, we are looking like 36 milliseconds on our PCL and 71 FPS at full like maxed out path tracing in Cyberpunk. I mean, this makes a 5070 Ti much more viable as a 4K option if you don't mind using ultra performance, simply because the model is so much better. I mean, I'm not getting near the you know, weird artifacts. Most of the time this this little paper stuff floating around is still flickering a little bit, but it is not near as bad as it used to be. I mean, most of the time it would just completely vanish on you. And that little diamond up there, I mean, it looks good. It's very stable, and that was kind of like what I used as my kind of baseline for stability. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over to the L model and go through performance and ultra performance again for you guys and see how good it looks, and I'll be right back. All right, so we are on the L model, which is supposedly the best for ultra performance, but we're starting here at performance. It looks really good. PCL's at 47 milliseconds, 43 FPS. Now, the thing is, when I do frame generation, I don't only look at the base frame rate, which is 45, 46 FPS right here. I also take into consideration my PCL. And my PCL being around 50 milliseconds is kind of on the upper range of what I would consider a good PCL to frame generate from on mouse and keyboard. But if you're on a controller, frame generating from a, you know, sub 50, you know, high 40s PCL tends to usually feel pretty good. So we might check that out later too. This turned into a little bit of a long video, but that's okay, because this is kind of like, I just wanted to do like a really deep video with this title on DLSS 4.5 anyway, so we're doing that. Yeah, we're looking good as far as visual clarity goes. Looks really good. So what I want to do now is jump over and test out that ultra performance. So this is ultra performance, leaving everything else the same, full path tracing, and let's just see how good it looks. All right, so this is the L model, and everything looks obviously a little bit softer than performance, but it looks like it's only in the far distance. My car looks good. Everything within maybe 10 feet of me looks really sharp. And yeah, I mean, this is very improved. I mean, I would say that this looks almost as good as DLSS 4 performance did, if not about the same. You know, again, make sure you're full screened it on 4K on this video so that you can see it for yourself the best you can. I've mentioned this before, but just in case you skipped around, I shoot everything in really high bit rates so that I can combat the YouTube, you know, compression algorithm as much as I can. So make sure you full screen all my videos. It really does. That's kind of like the benefit, I guess, of recording in such high bit rate. But yeah, we're looking like PCL's around 30 milliseconds. So right here, yeah, you're at 70 FPS. Now, it is kind of like, you know, I kind of think that the L model is not as, it's not as high performance as far as your actual, you know, FPS goes. But at the trade-off, you know, for the trade-off, you do get a much cleaner looking image. And, you know, like I said, these little papers and stuff that are flying around, those typically flickered like crazy on the old ultra performance model. And that little diamond up there was very unstable, and now it's perfectly stable. I mean, no matter how I move around, it still looks nice and, you know, nice and sharp comparatively to what it did. So this is definitely far better. It, you know, like I said, it makes ultra performance a viable option instead of just like, oh, that looks like crap, but this is the only way I can play it on this card, you know, that kind of thing that you used to have to do with ultra performance. Because normally I wouldn't even test it, but I might actually start testing it now because it's actually a viable option. So what I'm going to do now is kick on some frame generation at some various different settings, and we'll go on from there. I got to do a restart, and I'll be right back. All right, so we are back in it. I am back on the M model, and we are on quality upscaling here. So just checking out some things on different, you know, kind of from the hip settings. So we're on 2x quality, quality transformer 2 model. Everything, of course, is full ray tracing with Psycho enabled. So this is going to be the highest level of RT you can expect. And right here we are at 75-ish FPS, and our PCL is still around 65. So if you're on a controller in this game, that's a pretty good PCL for a controller. And of course, we are going to check out path tracing as well. But right here on quality 2x, you are looking like a very playable experience with the maxed out ray tracing. So what I'm going to do now is jump over and just activate that path tracing, and let's move forward and keep on rolling with it. So I'm going to go to Overdrive, kick it back over to quality with 2x. Everything, you know, is as you see here. Path tracing takes over everything. So all this junk, we need to turn it off so we have some clarity. All right, so all this has been enabled with that preset. So let's go ahead and slow way down. All right, there we go. All right, so PCL is pretty high. With 2x frame gen, we are on 50 FPS here. Now this isn't awful. PCL is a bit high for even a controller. 95 milliseconds. I am feeling a little bit of sloppiness, so I'm going to just jump up right here and say that if you want to run 2x, you're going to have to probably go to balanced on your upscaling, with everything else left the same here. If you want to do path tracing, Psycho, all that stuff. So let's see how this feels. And I'm just kind of like going with sort of the same settings, but with that 2x enabled, just to see what our PCL is going to act like. It's still kind of high. You're at 72 milliseconds, but you are over 60, and it doesn't feel as bad. It doesn't, this probably wouldn't be how I would play it. I would probably just go up to that performance and 2x frame gen on top of that. So, you know, everything does look pretty good. But yeah, we're still looking like a little bit of upscaling is going to help us out. Now that M model is recommended for everything quality to performance. Ultra performance, if you're going to use ultra performance, I have read where it is more of a competitive setting, and that is kind of the reason that L model exists. So really the M model is probably fine for most people. But we'll definitely check out L on ultra performance with some frame gen. So right here at 64 FPS, I'm gonna jump up and just go kick it over to 3x here, just to see what it feels like, what PCL does, all that stuff. So PCL went up a good bit. We're in the 80s now. Gave us a little bit more frames, of course, but yeah, at the cost of a little bit more latency. You know, on a controller, this would be okay. Again, performance looks so good that I wouldn't mind, you know, using performance at all. All right, so what I'm going to do now is just go up to 4x, keep everything else the same, and just get another read on our PCL here. The PCL is even higher, of course. Jumped up to about 113 there, but it has come back down. It seems to have stabilized a little bit. So we are at 91 milliseconds with 116 FPS. Now I don't have the 5x and 6x that has been announced. That is not available on the beta. So right now we can only top out at 4x frame gen. But I'm not seeing any ghosting or anything like that. That has been improved with this beta version. Even on a sharpness of 0.8, I'm still not seeing any sort of frame skipping or any kind of ghosting or anything like that. No major artifacts. So that usually that little waypoint in the back is really jittery. You still get a little bit of it, but again, I'm like really trying to test out exactly a really certain set of circumstances. So if you're just going to play it like you should, then you're not going to notice that kind of stuff. So that has been improved with this model dramatically. So it allows you to sharpen up your upscale a good bit more. So that's good to know. All right, so what we're going to do is go to that performance, bring this back down to 2x, and leave everything else the same here. So path tracing, 2x frame gen, performance, model, M, and yeah, everything else, I'm just going to scroll through so you can see everything else is the same, nothing crazy. All right, so let's jump back into it. Performance looks so freaking good. Our PCL is at, let's see, what is it going to stabilize at? Okay, it's stabilizing in the low 60s, which is awesome, with 81 FPS here. So, without introducing any more frame generation, you are still in the 80s with a PCL that is respectable and acceptable for a controller, for sure, and probably for mouse and keyboard for the most part, for most people. If you're sensitive to that latency stuff, of course, you can either turn down your settings. Oh, yeah, I gotcha. Okay, so let's just keep on going here. 79 FPS, 72 around this roundabout. So this is more than likely how I would play it with some path tracing. I would just keep it on performance and enjoy the crisper, sharper image with no ghosting and being able to sharpen up my picture quality a good bit. So everything does look really good. Let's go up to, just for, just to make sure we cover everything. Ray tracing or path tracing 3x, performance, PCL. Let's see what it does here. PCL is around 63 still. Let's see if it stabilizes. If the PCL stabilizes in the mid 60s, I think this would actually be a pretty viable option here, because it gives you 100 FPS, most of the time, and you're in the responsiveness rate of a controller. So if you're on a controller, good to go. If you're on mouse and keyboard, you might want to use 2x. But yeah, this is everything looks really sharp though. This is a really, really good update. I'm very happy that they have put this out so we can start looking at it early. But yeah, let's go up to 4x and see what that can do. And just kind of round out this test and call it a day. So after this, I will put a little bit of a how-to just in case you don't know how to enable these models. I'll be able to jump over and show you that. So yeah, this has been a really good look at it. Ultra performance, let's try it and see where we can go from there. So ultra performance on the M model. Let's go back. Ultra performance. All right. Ultra performance on the M model, 2x frame gen, 0.8 sharpening. Tiny bit softer, of course. That's just going to be the case. But your PCL is so much better. It's 41 milliseconds. And, you know, for a little cost of sharpness, you get a much better performance, you know, of course, and the ultra performance looks way better than it ever has. It ain't perfect, but it's much cleaner. And this is only going to get better and better, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, the 119 FPS here, 115, 114. Now we got plenty of PCL, so we can go up a little bit more on our frame gen here. Let's go to 3x. Let's see what that does once it stabilizes. That gives you well over 100 FPS. I mean, no question. You're going to be well over 100 FPS here with a 45 millisecond PCL. That is pretty nice. You know, again, for the slightest bit of trade-off in image quality. And again, it's image quality mainly in the distance. My car still looks really good. It's just mainly stuff that's like these leaves on the palm trees that are more in the distance. You know, so it's not perfect. It's not like, you know, you can't tell. You can definitely tell. It's just a viable option now. And it's not like something I just always avoided, at least in this game. All right, so let's go up to 4x here and see what we can do there. And then I'll swap over to that L model and we can check that out. So yeah, we are at 195 FPS here with a 50 millisecond PCL, 200 FPS. All right, so I'm gonna jump out real quick, switch that model over, and then I'll be right back for the final round of testing. All right, so now we are on performance again, but we are on the L model, the model that is specifically tuned to ultra performance. I'm just checking out on performance. I just want to come in here and double check everything, make sure you guys know what I'm doing. All right, so ultra performance, everything's still path tracing. All this stuff is still the same. 2x frame gen, all this junk is off. So I didn't do anything but change the model and go back to performance. Now this gives you 61 milliseconds with a 75 FPS frame rate, and looks really good. Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, make sure you're at 4K with everything full screened, preferably on like a laptop or a, you know, a monitor, PC monitor or something like that, so you can really see the detail for yourself too. But yeah, we are at 79 FPS here. Let's just keep on going up to, whoops, I need to go back. Let's keep on going up to the very next level. Let's go 3x, see what our PCL does on 3x. So that gives us something around 75, 66. Let it stabilize. We're over 100 FPS at times, which is good. 72 milliseconds. On a controller, this feels good. This isn't anything that I would necessarily worry about at all. I'm typically a controller player with these types of settings or these types of games, so I would probably say that this is one of the ways I would potentially play it, simply because it looks really good and your PCL is under 80 milliseconds. If I was on mouse and keyboard, I would probably want around 50 or lower even. But let's just double check on 4K, or 4X, I mean. Not 4K, 4X. All right, so just a simple uptick to 4X. And that gives you a PCL of around 70 milliseconds with 138, 133 FPS. I will say that this has all been done with NVIDIA Reflex turned on, so that is definitely something that's going to help your post-compute latency a good bit. So I definitely recommend using it. All right, so yeah, we're at 72. All right, so 72 milliseconds. So right now, 145 FPS. Let's jump over and round this thing out. Go ahead and test this sucker at 2x, ultra performance, path tracing. You know, nothing's changed. Everything's as it is, as it was. All right, so 120 FPS, PCL's in the low 40s, which is awesome. You know, as far as the models go, I'm not seeing a huge difference between L and M. So, you know, that might be something that you can consider as well. As I would probably just use the M model with performance, because that tends to be the best bang for your buck on 4K as far as visual quality and frame rate. But yeah, I mean, everything does look a little bit softer, a little bit blurrier, but again, it's not near as bad as what DLSS 4 Ultra Performance looked like. That was I just hated it. I didn't even include it most of the time. It looked so bad. But yeah, 120 FPS here. Let's work our way through the frame generation, and then we'll jump into how to do this. If you've made it this long, thank you so much for watching. The best and easiest way to support my work is to just watch my videos for as long as you can, and that is what helps me out tremendously, more than anything else. I know you probably hear other people say it, but that really is the best way to support anyone, is just watch the videos, as you know, again, as much as you can of them. All right, so yeah, we are looking like 150, 157 FPS here. 49 milliseconds, 50 milliseconds, which is kind of where you want to be. I mean, you know, that's fine to me. But yeah, let's jump over and go to that next level of 4X. So 4X frame generation, model L, 200 FPS here, and a 46 millisecond PCL here. So, you know, this isn't how I would play it. It's still a little too soft for my liking, even with that, you know, pretty aggressive sharpness. But, you know, I will say that typically whenever you sharpen it with frame generation, you get a lot of ghosting, and that has been improved a good bit. I mean, it is way, way more stable, and it looks way, way more in focus, and you don't get those like ghost trails nearly as much, if at all. I mean, that has really tended to be my biggest gripe sometimes with ultra performance. And on this in front of the car, generally on the old model, you would kind of have this like heat wave effect in front of the car from this angle. I've shown it before, but that's gone. I mean, it is gone. There's just no more of that like weird ripply texture in the road in front of the car. So yeah, I mean, the model has improved a good bit, so that's good to see for sure. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to exit the game and jump into how to do all this. So just for those who don't know, you know, there is the NVIDIA app, and here's where you do it. So right now, you click on the NVIDIA app here. And what you're going to do first is you're going to go into Settings, and you're going to go to About. You got to make sure that Opt into Access Beta or Experimental Features is checked. Once you check that, it will bring up a new driver for you to update. And I've already installed it, of course, but right here it'll say install. You install it like any other driver update. And what that will do is it will allow you to go into graphics, go into your game. You can go to global and set it there. But I went into the game specifically here and scroll all the way down to these driver settings here. What you're going to do is click on model preset. Now you can just go latest, and that's going to use the latest model, which right now is M. But you know, if you wanted to try out the ultra performance, L is supposedly the best version for ultra performance specifically. So, you know, this is how you do it. It's really easy. You just come in here and set everything up on custom and do your thing there. What I would probably do though, if you don't, you know, really care too much, is just go into latest here and apply that. All right. So if you go to latest and go to global, that will override, that won't override the settings that are in the specific program here. So by going in here and, you know, forcing the preset, you will override whatever global setting you have. So right now I have global settings set to latest, but since I wanted to test out specifically that L model, I went into here and overrode the global in this in the actual game itself. So yeah, this has been a pretty long one. Thanks for hanging out. And yeah, if you are new here, please consider subscribing. If you're not new here, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate the support. And we'll see you in the very next video. Peace.